probably going to get removed. AI heard the word removed, so it thought it'd be intelligent and remove it. That's what the world's coming to. I'm listening to news today, and I'd just like to say, people, if they get influenced by the news, then they basically, there's a lot of people believe that we come to Earth to manipulate matter, and then there are groups of people that come to Earth to just manipulate us. And the key word these days that keeps popping up on the news is freaking anti-Semitic, like anti-Semitic, 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 and all this. Right? They personally, I prefer them to the police. You know, black and white, owning that. You know, clothing. You know, the clothing of the universe. You know, black and white and the polarizers. They're esoteric cultures and society around that we don't actually know what their purpose is around community sometimes. I personally had an uneventful day today and just broke down just how abusive certain aspects of community have been towards me, discriminatory, hateful, the whole shit. Like, it's like, no, I'm not no victim. I'm really not no victim. Because for here and there, I do meet some nice people still, and I try to remain open-hearted and believe and have faith in people. But it's like, we live in the civilised world, that, you know, UK and America, we're supposedly supposed to have it the best that it's got. But I am all too aware that there are demographics of people that are marginalised, that have got shackles all over their sense of self and their sense of, you know, freedom. And it's only when you turn off like mediums coming at you and you realise that your family have been indoctrinated, and it's all indoctrination into, well, basically as a lot of successful people wake up to the fact of cultism. Is that a mark on my chin, or is there something wrong with the camera? I don't know, but it's... Anyway, so yeah, removed. Let's see if it gets removed. Because I'd really like to go in depth to it, like wasting my breath, talking to people that are supposedly there for justice, called solicitors, and then you waste your breath and you get reminded of everything, and they go, well, judging by what you've told us, we will see that your case will be unsuccessful. I don't think you can judge any individual case on what you think will be successful. I don't think you've come across me in your lifetime. Like, I don't even understand the series of events that have happened to me. I know that was abusive. I know that I hadn't even seen Anonymous when I went to a march called Unity, and I think that the police were actually some sort of film lunatic crossover land that decided to go to town on people that were just attending or walking around it, and I was just filming it. I didn't write any signs or have anything to say in particular because I don't do politics. I like to mind my own little bubble. So it's like, you don't know what you're dealing with. They like to think that they can manipulate and see what they're dealing with, and they would like to try and discriminate and try to make an example of you, and there are dirty little cliques around that try to do that via law systems, by abusive means. There are people that would enable and facilitate police, and in cases where you meet them at a festival, they might not know the history of being abused via a march, and they might not know that they're just hoping another shit storm and can of abuse and enabled abuse in a supposedly civilised modern world called the UK. I mean, we all watch the wars and go, oh, how great we have it. Yeah, in between, you know, it's calm now, but, you know, if you turn on the TV, it's like people and, you know, the benefit state. I have elderly people to care about. I don't care. You broke my spirit on multiple occasions. You abused the law system. You gave me a CRB, which I dug out there, that reads like a piece of fiction. You made it under no uncertain terms. That the vessel is something you like to manipulate and see how it bodes or tests. And I had a conversation with people the other day about kids getting mercury fillings during a certain era, and how that was probably the test at the time, because they hold a frequency and vibrational frequency. So when you feel like you can hear things and stuff going on at one point, it's like, just get these things out of my head. And I went through phases and different things, and you go, okay, it's probably in conjunction with moon and lunar cycles. That's why we gravitate to certain things, because, yeah, and it's a lot of things. But you can see, for real, that there's a lot of weird shit that goes on that you're not aware of, that other demographics are. As far as anti-Semitism goes, please, I know you had the monopoly on victimhood in the war and shit, but that was one demographic of people called the police, the Germans, and quite frankly, I think it was manipulated for Somalians. Yeah, because apparently in Somalia, the Jews were the most hated people, and so when we joined, along with Germany and France, Africa, and split up the country round about the same time, I think they just went to war and just used the whole of the nationalities like pawns. We were all just pawns to kill off against each other. It was not really anti-Semitism in the first place. It was just African and uncivilized people that had deep, dark history with Jews that set the world stage in a European context. So wake the fuck up. It's never really what it seems. And as far as anti-Semitism, we've got loads over certain areas, and I just think they're wonderful to look at. Don't you think their culture looks very staid and sedate? But don't be mistaken, Gentile people can be probably vicious and have a lot of money and probably can sway certain things, because it seems people just don't like to be at peace and at rest, and there's monopolies on victimhood. And it's like when the 80s come along, and I pride myself in the era that I was born, it was like skateboarders rolling around using the N-word, white, blacks and everybody care, because they're not responsible for any of it, because they're just lower working class people that have been slaves across the multitudes. We've all been slaves to an elite class. Why don't they wake the fuck up to all of that? It's like, forget your religions and everything, put it one side. This is All Might. This is somebody you're looking at that just talks absolute sense, and you cannot argue with absolute sense. Just go and get on with your own life, get your own boundaries in your own lane, and stop fucking fixating on other people and other demographics and leave them alone. If you don't like it, don't pay attention. It's that simple, isn't it? Are people that retarded? You got a monopoly on that. Oh, we can't use the N-word. Oh, that person's a bad person. Oh, but it was all about skateboarding back when I was. And now the millennials are coming through and it's all PC correctness. But I never lived in Alabama. I was never a cotton picking farmer. I swear, my family come from workhouses and they had it worse than some of them black Victorian maids that had the high classy jobs. We were even worked fingers to the bone, split up from our families. It was really bad. Do you want to get your head around it all and just shut the fuck up? Like anybody that is enlightened, just don't watch the TV anymore, and that's that simple, because they're just generating spawn satanic thoughts and crap and evil. They'll generate, to hate on, let's throw eggs at this person's enlightened. Yeah, I say it all so you don't have to. Kick back, chill out, relax, go snorkeling, just go and appreciate the fucking world that you were put on. You weren't supposed to fucking fixate on other people based on their IQ, intelligence, or where the fuck they're going, or what they want to achieve in a life, and there's nothing to do where you put your fucking face and who's on genitals you want to fucking put it on, so long as they're fucking of age. Yeah, so fucking leave people fucking alone. That's what I say. Do you want it straight from the horses? Do you want a world fucking leader? Well, fucking lead that. Fucking do your own thing and fucking stop fixating like popularity fucking contests, and achieve as much as you can achieve for the people that haven't woken the fuck up and seem to be living in drivel of a fucking life in fucking crappy countries where they're not allowed to leave, because apparently we have this based on our political law. Institutes of universities ain't universe. They're not the universe. The universe comes to life when we got internet connectivity, but they tried to close that down. That's probably why this video will be removed, because people are weak and play weak because they need ego identification in, this is how I was brought up and this is what this is. So long as you ain't hurting anybody and treat others as you'd like to be treated, I think you're winning. It's a pretty simple philosophy, isn't it? When people say, in Lakesh, I even wrote a kid's book about that. Yeah, let's bring it through. It's a new age, because every day is a new day. Every dawn is a new dawn. And people, when they start waking up and actually investing in themselves, and are given that time, peace and stability to invest in themselves and invest without being traumatized or for fear of other people going to be walking over them based on their fragile little ego identities, because they won't stand. Anybody that pays attention to people that are taking advantage of other people is not a winner. They're a loser. There's a certain way to walk in the light and walk in the truth, and it's come through Japanese culture, it's in manga, it's everywhere, it's in lots of things. It's not in one thing these days. It's like the truth and the light has broke forth from a biblical time. But when you find peace in Hinduism, even maybe in Shiva and the three-eyed god, and identifying with the fact that yes, you have got a pineal gland here that kicks in when you go to sleep, and you have actually, you've discovered your whole body. Isn't it a wonder? Do you really care where people live, what their sexual preference is then? Do you give a fuck? Fucking grow up, wake up, and fucking the most of your fucking life, and stop trampling on other people's feet or trying to degrade other people based on what you think you fucking know, because you don't know shit from the perspective of the next person. You're not in their shoes, so treat them as you'd like to be treated. And if you are someone as thick as shit that wants to be punched in the face, that's not the norm. I just let you know, it's not the norm actually. People like to be respected and elegant and like to be, it's nice to be nice. You know, Kindness. Oh, the kindness. Is kindness offensive to you? Well then, yes, go to a sex club dungeon if you really get off on fucking weird shit. As I told the PC that left me in pain for an hour and a half with a bag and a coat hanging off my fucking wrists that caused 6 months of nerve damage that you wouldn't even treat a dog like. If you get off on that kind of fucking depravity, one-party non-consenting bondage, then go to a fucking sex club and stick a fucking ball gagging someone's fucking mouth and get your whip out where it's agreed consensual, but that takes the thrill out of it for some sick bastards. That's what I learned about life, and that's from the top and to the bottom. Unfortunately, they all exist on the planet. Just try to go places where they're not in existence. And then they wonder why elite people go for little small islands. Oh, and then we can just do them because we're all jealous because they live on an island. They've got their own island. That must make them some kind of nonce. Or they must be this, or they must be that. Well, let's just pick on the people with the money. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's it. Let's pull apart society some more, shall we? Let's get at people. Oh, this one's trying to rise. Look at this do-gooder. Let's try and get her. Let's see how many people we can buy. There's people running around loose in the world with nothing better to do than make a meal of some bright-eyed kid. Don't I know it? Fucking bright as they come. And you're not making a meal out of me anymore. Yeah.